Hey, what's up guys? So for today's video, we're gonna talk about the top 5 secondary melees in Season 7. Let's get into it. Starting with number 5, the katana. I'm actually surprised that I don't see this much often in rank anymore. So first, let's talk about the switching animation. It looks pretty cool. And with the way it just like slides the katana out from the side, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Now let's talk about the switching speed. Now, even though it's a whole katana, it's actually pretty fast in terms of its switching speed, so another 7 out of 10. And this is where it really shines. Among the melees, it has the best range among all of them, so that's definitely a 10 out of 10. Now when talking about the switching sound, I give it a 7 out of 10. It's actually not too noisy compared to the other melees in this list, so I give it an 8 out of 10. That's why it's number 5. Moving on to number 4 is the karambit. Now, not a lot of people use this, but it's actually pretty good. Starting with the switching animation, it looks dope. I give it a 10 out of 10 for switching animation. Among all the melees, it's probably the most unique one that we have out here. Now, talking about the switching speed, I give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, just look at how fast you can switch from your knife to your sniper. Moving on to the range. Now, it doesn't have the best range, but we're gonna give it a bonus point for double swings. Now, you can kill 2 enemies in a row with this. That's why I'd give it a little bit higher than the katana. Now, when talking about the switching sound, it's actually really noisy compared to most of the melees available right now in COD Mobile, so that's a 3 out of 10. Overall, I'll give it an 8.5 for the style. Moving on to number 3 is the folding knife. Now, a lot of people just compare this to the assault knife and the karambit as if it had a baby. So overall, for the switching animation, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's actually pretty flashy if you put it in slow motion. So yeah, definitely 9 out of 10. Moving on to the switching speed, it's actually a 10 out of 10 for me. It's one of the fastest switching melees as well. So if you guys want to try rushing with this, give it a go. It's a pretty good one. Now let's talk about the range. Just like the karambit, it's a 5 out of 10 for me, but bonus for the double swing. Like I said earlier, this double swing is a game changer, especially for melee abusers. Now moving on to switching sound. Although this is a knife, unlike some of the other knives available in COD Mobile, this is actually pretty silent when you're switching. So overall, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. That's why it's number 3. Moving on to number 2 is the assault knife. Now I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, this should be number 1. Now if we're talking about flashiness, yes, overall it's number 1. But if we're talking about like the best melee overall, I'm going to tell you later on why this is only number 2. So switching speed, obviously a 10 out of 10. You can switch so fast that you can barely see it. Like, it looks like you have 3 hands at this point. Now, when we're talking about the range, it's a 5 out of 10. It's not the best range, it's not the worst range either, and it's only a 1 swipe. That's why it's not number 1 currently. And let's talk about the switching sound. This one's really noisy actually. Like, not too noisy, but it's still a good 8 out of 10. Overall, 9.5 out of 10, could be higher, depending on what you like. Now number 1 is the boxing gloves. A lot of people are gonna hate me for this one, but starting with the switching animation, it's a 3 out of 10. It's actually not the best switching animation. If anything, it's pretty dull. Next is switching speed. It's a 7 out of 10. It's not the fastest, it's not the slowest, it's a good one. However, this is really what's carrying it. The range is only a 5 out of 10, but look at this double swipe and fire rate. You can literally kill 4 people in like 2 seconds with this thing. Okay, so let's talk about the switching sound. This is where it really shines. Switching sound is a 10 out of 10. It's so silent, the only thing you'll hear is your sniper, but overall, it's just a 9.6 out of 10 for me. Now, if you're talking about flashiness, definitely go for the assault knife though. So let me know what's your top 5 melees in the comment section below, and let's hop into the gameplay.
love the gram.